Welcome once again. Peace and blessings to all of you. And thank you for taking the time out to share in this conversation. And it is my greatest hope that you may be able to take some of this information and again, implement it in your life, work with it, be patient with yourself, because sometimes we want things to happen overnight. Remember, nothing worth gaining or having, if it is done in a hurry, if it is done without thought, will not come to much fruition. So take your time, digest, food for thought, meditate, reflect, and then implement. So here are some perspectives on what I believe, having again been a counselor for several decades, some of the proper fundaments that we can embrace on how we should view having children in our midst. Think of a world in which children have been removed and all there is are people who are adults. No more children are coming into the world. What do you think is going to happen? Slowly, or maybe not so slowly, the adults will come to age, some of them if they're lucky. They will age, and over time, they will all pass away. And then there will be a world with no children, a world that cannot be renewed. Children are the spark of life that keeps all of the ancestral lines and the generations continuing, ever growing, ever continuing. They are a gift, not a burden. Children want two things primarily. So when you and your spouse or your mate have a child, understand that all they want is to spend time with you, and all they also want is your love. Your love. To be with you, they want to be with their mother, they want to be with their father because they are of you. And they want to feel, they want to be able to experience whatever love it is that you can give to them. They cling to us because there's a sense of belonging. Children should be raised and prepared for the long journey of adulthood. Childhood is very short. Consider somebody who potentially will live until they are 70 or 80 or 90. Childhood starts from the womb, and when they're born and take that first breath, they continue down the road to puberty. About 14 years of age, 15. At that point, they are considered to be teenagers. All of the inputs, most of the input that they will have, their foundation would have been laid. So it is important to do a good job of preparing them for adulthood. The love, sacrifice, and caring shown to your children is a blessing to you and the future generations. Your nurturing will leave an indelible mark for the good. And as I said, how you raise your children and the food that you nurture them on. I'm not simply talking about physical food. I'm talking about how you nurture them spiritually, how you nurture them mentally as well. Spiritual nourishment happens in a manner that relates to nurturing your children on this concept and belief that there is something greater than their human person. God, the divine, whatever it is in your tradition that the Supreme Being is called. You want to be able to let them understand that singular concept, because then respect and positive regard for mother and father as an authority, the social relationship of authority figures will then be nurtured within them, that they know that they should regard their elders. They should listen to their elders, because the elders hopefully are wiser than them, because they have not yet arrived at that age. When a person lives a life and they are 60 and 70 years old, they should at that point have some wisdom to impart. And children need to know that. They can go to a grandmother or a great-grandmother and ask for advice that they have yet to come into, to know. Many adults have misplaced value system when they give a child away to adoption. I've heard many people say, well, I'm giving up my child because I don't have the means to take care of them. I don't have all of the trappings. I don't have a lot of money to buy them the best clothes and live in the best house. Children never ask for anything of their parents other than for you to love them. They don't know anything about $150 pairs of sneakers. They don't know anything about fancy clothes or, what do you call that? Designer clothes. They know nothing about that. And we have taken the value system in our societies, and then what we do is we impose them upon our children and say, that is what I want them to have. And because I can't afford that, then it means I can't take care of them. So we give them away. We give them to other family members, or we give them to, the adoption agency. And then we have to deal with the karmic price, the karmic weight of not taking care of the most important gift that you have been given by the Supreme Being. So, teach them that they are a gift to the world. Protect their mind from a lot of the societal negatives. So between the ages of 1 and 3, it is said that the brain is the most rapid in its development. It absorbs everything in its environment. Some of the things on television, a lot of people take their children, and the television is the babysitter, or the computer is the babysitter, or the hand gadgets that you give them is the babysitter. What you have to understand is that you are programming that child And a lot of what is put on those particular instruments end up being a detriment to your child. The greatest gift to demonstrate to your child is love. Love. Remember that they're developing and learning. They do not yet know many things. They do not know. A lot of times we'll say, you know better. Well, the brain has not developed. It has not matured to know. That's why they're called children. And it's your responsibility to nurture and to teach them. And you also need to feed their bodies with the right food, with the right nutrients. To summarize all that we have expressed over these weeks, these principles, understand that the greatest thing that we have is love. The Ma'atian principle of unconditional love for our fellow human being, the willingness to sacrifice in our families for those we say we love, to sacrifice for the greater humanity. All of the principles that we talked about prior to this, order and reciprocity and harmony and truth and justice, all of these principles bring forth, nurture this one great concept of love. There's a center right here in your heart. It's called your heart center. And there is represented by the 8 petals of the lotus. When you live and treat your fellow human being, your husband, your wife, your extended family member, by the principles that we have talked about, what happens is that you come into the understanding that you are connected to each and every other human being. And so the concept of I am because we are because I am, that was taught by our ancestors, is then alive within you. You need to understand that love is not just a noun. Love is a verb. You must demonstrate it. You must live it. When you sacrifice, seeking nothing in return, when you give and you ask for nothing, then you are manifesting true love. When you give and you say, I'm going to help this person so I can get a blessing, you will get no blessing, because you should give unconditionally, expecting nothing in return. So this is how we can share, how we can be, how we can give to each other in our intimate family nuclear structure and our extended family, so that our lives can be based on positive regard for each other, love, peace, and harmony. Peace and blessings. We will be back to talk with you soon. And please visit our website, Templa Menemaku, where we have a lot of information on ancestral legacy. And if you can, we welcome, if you have the heart, to donate so that we can continue our humanitarian work. Peace and blessings. Atepu.